Now, Ghanaians will go to the polls tomorrow. It is expected to be a close race between him, the main opposition leader, Nana Akufo-Addo. Voters will also be choosing members of parliament for 275 constituencies. Ghana's President John Mahama has been showcasing scores of infrastructure projects as proof of his development in his last 4 years. He says he needs a second term to consolidate the gains as well as create jobs. Opinion polls, however, and academic studies of voter intentions to emerge during their campaign have been split between the opposition's New Patriotic Party and the NDC. Tomorrow's vote will be the sixth consecutive democratic election. Well, our correspondent Sarah Kimani joins us live now on the line to give us an update about what's happening in Accra. Sarah, a very good afternoon to you. It's just a couple of hours before the elections take place in Ghana. How are the preparations going along there?
So preparations are now in high gear. We've just been speaking to electoral observers, and mainly most of the electoral observers now are being dispatched outside of the city, the main city, Accra, and into the polling stations outside of the city. The Electoral Commission itself is busy dispatching electoral material ahead of that election, which poll stations will open tomorrow at exactly 7 in the morning and will close at 5 p.m. But anybody who will be on the queue, by the time 5 p.m. comes, will still be allowed to cast their ballot.
Now, tell us more about the campaign, Sarah. Any reported incidents of violence, intimidation, or are things just running smoothly ahead of the polls tomorrow?
Well, campaigns have been vibrant, each side of the divide trying to sell their policies and trying to say why they should be the ones who now get to lead Ghana, one of Africa's most stable democracies and indeed West Africa's second largest economy. Now, the opposition is talking about economic mismanagement, it's talking about high inflation, it's also talking about high interest rates. Some of the reasons why the ruling National Democratic Convention should be kicked out. However, President Mahama's party insists that during the last 2 years it has been able to bring the economy back to its feet. It is also talking about having put in place austerity measures that have seen them be able to create more jobs, and also talking about infrastructural projects that they have launched over the last few months, saying if they are given another 4 years, then they should be able to complete these infrastructural projects and they should be able to create even more jobs. And by the time President Mahama says, by the time he leaves, then the country will be back on its feet and it will be a middle-level income country.
Well, Sarah, reports indicate that it seems like it's a closely fought race with a lot of Ghanaians very divided as to who they're actually going to vote for tomorrow. But what is your understanding on the ground? Are people leaning more towards the current incumbent President Mahama?
It's very tight, and we've just been speaking to an economic and political analyst from the Ghana Business School, University of Ghana, and he says that one of the things that has come out is that even though both leaders are selling their policies, the electorate are finding it very difficult to trust any side of the opposition, whether the opposition, any side of the political divide, whether the opposition or the ruling party. And so the election will mainly be decided at the ballot box at the last minute. But he admits that it is very tight. But he also says now there's one party, the PPP, is coming out as one of the parties that could make the electorate go for a runoff, saying that it may actually go for a second round. If that runoff happens, then it will be on the 28th of December. To win the election, one must garner 50% of the vote cast plus one, meaning majority.
It's going to be a very interesting one indeed. Do tell us, Sarah, before I let you go, have the international observer missions arrived in the country and what will they be paying their attention to at this stage?
Well, the international observer missions are here. There is the Commonwealth Observation Group led by retired President Thabo Mbeki. There is the EU Observer Mission. There's also the African Union Observer Mission led by retired President of Namibia. All of them are saying they will be looking to see whether leaders will honor that they signed just before the elections. All the 7 presidential candidates are pledged to honor the outcome of the elections. They said they will honor whatever happens, and they said that they will keep the peace. Indeed, yesterday, President Mahama pledging that it will not be under his watch or under his rule as the president that the country slides into chaos. They also said they will be watching to see how the Electoral Commission generally conducts the elections. There was a special vote which had a lot of hitches, so they're saying they hope this can now be corrected as the country goes into the elections. 15.7 million people are registered to cast their ballots tomorrow.
My goodness, and it's all eyes on Ghana tomorrow as the country goes to the polls. Thank you so much to our correspondent there, that is Sarah Kimani, on the line with us in Accra as the Ghanaians prepare to go to the polls tomorrow morning.